Hello, Revere, and welcome to our Revere Veterans and Community Show. Today we have two special guests, a school teacher, Greg Lalonde. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Morris.
And Greg Lalonde, a bus driver from California, Huntington Beach.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, too.
We came all the way just to be on your show.
Right. You people came all the way from California just to be on Revere TV8, and that's an honor to have you do that.
Absolutely.
So, how did you get here, by the way?
We got here we flew from
You flew from California?
we flew from Long Beach to Salt Lake City to Boston.
So you must be tired now, right? I mean, you should have taken a plane. You would have been better off. Okay, Kathy. Just a little humor, because we don't usually get a lot of people from the West Coast here. We're lucky we even get some of our own up here.
Yeah. I guess.
Kathy, you are a former school teacher.
Absolutely.
And you taught in California. Tell us something about that.
California. I taught in the same community for 39 years. It was a Hispanic community in a part of the Los Angeles Unified School District. And I've been retired for 6 years. And I loved teaching in that community. I was also a preschool teacher for the last 21 years. And I love that because I worked not just with the children, but with the parents also.
What grades did you usually teach and what subjects?
I taught all the way up through 5th grade. And then the last 21 years, I was teaching preschool. So those were the little kids, little 4-year-old kids.
Pre-kindergartens, you mean?
Pre-kindergarten.
Yep.
And many of them were Spanish-speaking. And
So, do you speak Spanish too?
I speak 4-year-old Spanish.
Oh. The only one I know is C. That's it, the letter C, you know.
Yeah.
That's my Spanish. Greg, I want to get to you for a minute. You are a bus driver in Huntington Beach, California.
I am, yes.
How do you like it there?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Tell us, have you ever had any experience on the buses? I mean, you know, with people like drunks or sort of kind of problems like that? If you can think of some.
Not usually, because I was working at Disneyland. I work at Disneyland, and so usually the most complaints I would get would just be cranky kids because they're tired.
Right. Did you, Kathy? I want to talk to you about. You live in California, and
Yes.
you know most of the Hollywood is out there. Have you ever met any famous people out there?
I actually have. My son is a TV writer.
What's his name?
His name is Alan McDonald.
Oh.
And he's worked on several shows. He worked on CSI and Body of Proof, and he recently worked on a show, Reckless. And now he's working on developing his own shows. So we'll see what happens.
Come on television?
Pardon me?
In other words, he's going to make his own shows to eventually come on TV?
Yes, well, that's what we're hoping. So yeah.
Okay,
So
then
we
I
will
got to
see.
ask you, but if you can't say it, don't.
Okay.
Can you tell us the name of the shows and what they're going to be, roughly what it's going to be about? Is it going to be like CSI, Las Vegas?
Well, that's considered a procedural show.
Right.
And he does have a show in that he is pitching to the networks. And it is, well, it's not really a procedural, it's a drama. And I don't think I can really say, though, because I don't have his permission to talk about it.
Okay, no problem. But could you do me a favor when you talk to your son, if he ever gets into Revere or Boston,
Yeah.
tell him we'd love to have him come on Revere TV and we can talk to him.
Absolutely.
It'd be an honor to have him on there.
But I will tell you that Warner Brothers is backing him.
Warner Brothers?
On this show that he's
That's
working on.
fantastic.
Yeah, fabulous.
You know, we get locals over here and great people, but you people are great just coming in from California to us. So I want to thank you, Greg, and I want to thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. It's I was born here.
Oh, tell us something.
Yeah.
How your childhood here and when you left here?
Absolutely. Well, I was born in Revere, and I was here until I was 8 years old. And my sister was 3 when my parents moved to California, and they packed us up into the old car, Studebaker, and we drove across country and settled in California. But I have so many relatives here on both sides of the family. that we come back for trips. So we're back here now for a trip. Unfortunately, it's a sadder occasion because we were here for a funeral.
I'm sad to hear
Yeah,
that.
but it's still a happy occasion in that I get to see all my cousins.
You
and
say
all.
you have family
So-
in Revere? Can you tell us who they are, if I may ask?
Actually, we don't have any. We really don't have family here, but we have somebody that's really close to our family.
Do we know him?
I think you do. It's Tommy Hill.
Oh, Tommy Hill. We've had him on the show here.
Yeah. Well, Tommy Hill was my father's best friend, and he was the best man at Tommy's wedding. Not only is Tommy Hill my father's best friend. My father passed about 20 years ago.
Right.
But his wife was my mother's best friend. And they grew up together in Boston. My father and Tommy went to Immaculate Conception High School. And my mother and Florence, I think Florence went to Revere High School. And so I'm not sure where Florence went, but they were best friends.
Yeah, Tom Hill told me that he was through your family, that he met his wife, I believe, or through your father, somehow that
It was actually through
in
my mother.
1939, I believe it was.
My mother was having a 16th birthday party for Florence, and it was at her family's house. My mother was one of 14 children born to my grandmother, and 11 of them grew up. And my grandfather had a candy factory, and he built this great big house. And the family was moving out of the house, so before they moved out, my mother was able to have this 16th birthday party for Florence. And that is how my mother and father met, and that's how Tommy and Florence met. And as a matter of fact, their home is now the front of, it was a hospital, and I believe it's a Revere Hospital, and I believe it's now a nursing home.
Yep. Lighthouse.
It is.
It's called the Lighthouse Nursing Home.
Oh, now I understand what the lighthouse
Proctor
was.
Avenue, was it?
Yes.
That's the one.
Oh, well, we're going to go see it today, and I can't wait to see it because I understand there's a picture of my family, the Dorlandos, in the foyer. So,
Yep, it's a beautiful nursing home. They expanded on it and they renovated. I used to do music many years ago. I used to go down there and play music for the elderly people that were there.
Oh, I did not realize that.
It's a beautiful place. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Back to you, Greg.
Yes.
Tell us a little about your childhood. Now, you grew up in California,
I grew up in
correct?
California, yes.
Tell us what it was like, because you can see what it is like in Massachusetts. We have the 4 seasons, and I do mean 4 seasons. We have blizzards, we have storms, matter of fact, not too long ago in July, we had a tornado here. So we've covered about every aspect of the weather, but tell us what it was like in California.
Oh, in Huntington Beach, the weather was always nice, and it's
What's the average temperature there?
probably about 70 degrees.
Go ahead, rub it in. Keep going.
About 70 degrees. It's usually no colder than 50.
70 degrees here, too, below zero sometimes. It feels like it. Yep. I mean, I'll tell you, it's so cold. We shouldn't have any homeless people out there. Everyone should have an igloo with the snow we have. You know? I mean, we've had snow over 8 feet here, believe me.
Wow.
This last winter that we had here in 2015, which we're still into, but we've had over 100 inches of snow. Now I'm going to ask you this. I know you're going to laugh. Up north in California, they do get snow.
Yeah.
Down where you live, no chance of that?
No.
That's good.
It's hailed a couple times in my life, but
But you do get the heavy rainstorms, though.
Oh, yeah.
sometimes, yes.
Yep, and you get the mudslides.
I don't think we've ever had a mudslide. We get some,
They do have
You
mudslides.
get-
Not
you get-
around where
you
we
get
are.
the earthquakes.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
That must shake you up a bit.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's pretty
So-
good.
yeah.
Now, Kathy, I would like to get back. So you mentioned Tom Hill. I didn't know
Yeah.
that you and your father and Tom Hill were close friends, but he mentioned something about, I believe, that your father wrote some books.
Yes.
Could you tell us about the books he wrote and what they were about? Because we had some great authors here, too.
Yeah.
And we'd like to, I wish your father were alive. We would have loved to have had him up here.
My father was amazing. He joined the Army. I mean, they didn't want to take him because he was so skinny, you know, but
I got to
after
tell
Pearl
you, you say
Harbor-
your father was skinny?
yeah.
I was skinny too when I
Really?
was, when I was 17 years old. I went to the Army. And people used to tell me if I drank a glass of tomato juice, I looked like a thermometer.
That's pretty funny.
That's how skinny I was. So
Wow.
I thought you liked that. No, I weighed about 120 pounds
Wow.
when I went into the service.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, my father wound up being a prisoner of war for 18 months in
Where, in Germany?
In Germany. When he came back, he actually had his, he was 24 years old, and he had all his teeth taken out, which I never knew until I had my first son. And he used to take his teeth out and put them back in his mouth, tease my son, you know, pop them out, pop them in. I never knew that about my father, but he's 24 years old, all his teeth out. Then he married my mother right after he got home, 3 months after he got home. He was really afraid that he wasn't going to be able to have kids. But son of a gun, he did, because I'm one of the first of the baby boomers born in 1946. So he came back, and I think he probably would have gone to college if he didn't, if he hadn't been in the service. But he always loved to write, and he started writing, and he wrote lots of magazine articles.
Are some of his books still out there?
Yeah, and so he wrote 4 different books. I know he sent 2 of them. 2 of them were actually on the lives of saints.
Oh.
Saint Francis, and the other one was Martin de Porres.
Martin de Porres, I don't know. Would that St. Francis of Assisi?
Yes, and he sent those to the library here. He had 2 other books that he hasn't had published. One of them was almost going to be published, and then they wound up not publishing it. Actually, I'd love to still get that book published. It was called, his name for it was Flem. You know, like the guy's name was Fleming. But they changed the name of it actually the company went out of business, and so he never got that published. I believe it was The Snows of Yesteryear, something like that. And it's about a young man and young woman that meet on Revere Beach.
Oh.
So that one was going to be published. And then there was another book, and I'm sorry I can't remember what the name of that one was. But I have all the manuscripts to that.
And your father's name was the author. What was the author he had on the book?
Arthur Leo McLaughlin. McLaughlin is my maiden name.
Oh.
And so as we've gone through his different things that we have all his manuscripts, and it was my son that got so much inspiration from my father, and I know that's why my son is a writer now.
Can I ask you where your dad was when he was prisoner of war, where he was held in what camp?
He was captured in Salerno, Italy,
Yep.
and he was held in Germany. And thank goodness the war ended. And so he was only incarcerated for 18 months.
That's still a long time. One day
Yeah.
under German rule, incarcerated. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Because I got to tell you, I wasn't involved in the war because I got in 46 because I was born in 29, so I was 17
Yeah.
when I got in. And the war had been over, and the only reason I'm considered a veteran of World War II is because Truman declared December the 31st, 1946, the official end of the war. So that made me a World War II veteran. But I got a salute. I wish your father were alive so I could give him a real salute because he deserves it out there.
Oh,
These are the
definitely.
people that put their life on the front for us.
And also, The women, too. My mother wound up living with my grandparents while my father was in the service. And he was missing for 3 months. Nobody knew where he was, and then the Red Cross found him. And my mother used to write to him all the time. And we had a lot of her letters. And every single night she would write my father, and then she would, put her lip marks, kiss the letter and send that. It was really beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Greg, so your father, when because since her passed away, how old was you when her father passed? You must have been about 7 years old.
I was 5.
5?
Yeah.
How did you find her dad? Nice.
I did. I don't remember much about him, but I remember I used to go to their house. I would used to scream that dinner was ready, and I used to watch Red Sox games with them on TV.
Yeah, I noticed you got a hat with the letter B out there, but you live in California, so they don't have any baseball teams out there except the California Angels, the Los Angeles Dodgers. But you were for the Boston teams out there too?
Yeah, I've been rooting for them because I used to watch the game with my grandma and grandpa on TV.
So you get the Red Sox out there too?
Every once in a while, like when they would have the games on.
Oh.
When the games would be on, we would watch them.
Well, I originally come from Brooklyn, New York, USA. I got to put that in there because they used to call us foreigners over there. And we have a different language than you people speak out in California. Like you say, it hurts me. Or I went to get some oil. Well, we say it hurts on 33rd and First Avenue. And see, we have the correct English. It's just so to get over outside the country. And you were a teacher. I'm surprised you didn't teach the kids that. No wonder my teacher always used to say, "Speak English, Morris." So we used to have a lot of fun in there. But let me tell you, I lived in Brooklyn, and we had the Brooklyn Dodgers, who eventually wound up out in the other part of the sticks as the LA Dodgers out there. So a lot of the teams interchanged. Have you ever seen the Dodgers play?
I have not.
Tell us what teams you have seen play, because boys are more into sports than women are.
The only teams I've seen, I've gone to a couple Angel games.
Yep.
And I've gone a couple times to see the Red Sox when they played at the Angel.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have a couple times.
I've seen the Angels.
You've seen the Angels too? I got to tell you, it's funny you should mention the Angels. Can I say something about that?
Absolutely.
Sometimes humor is more, comes out humor. I do DJ, I play music. And one of the gentlemen came over to me, he says, we're celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary. Could you play an anniversary song, the Anniversary Waltz? And I said, sure. So I played the Anniversary Waltz for him. So after I got finished, he came over to me, he shook my hand. And then after he shook my hand, he says, I want to thank you because my wife, she's a real angel. And I looked at him, I says, you're lucky. I says, because mine is still alive. I don't know when you mentioned the Los Angeles Angels. Okay. Kathy, you're retired. You like those little tidbits.
Yes.
You are retired now.
Yes.
But do you do anything, to keep busy? Like community or anything like that?
Oh my gosh, I'm always busy.
Can you tell us what you do so maybe some of the elderly people here might follow in your footsteps?
For the elderly people.
No, what I'm talking about our senior citizens. Like I'm 86, and
Sure.
a lot of them are in their 70s, 90s.
Yeah. Well, I was for a while. Actually, for 12 years, I was leading courses for a company called Landmark Education, and I was teaching a course called Self-Expression and Leadership, which I loved doing. I was also very active in breast cancer organizations because I also had breast cancer.
Funny you should mention, because I still have cancer. I go to the VA for my treatment.
Really?
So, yep, and they do an excellent job to the VA, and I got to give them
Fabulous.
credit.
Yeah, I was working with a group called Healing Odyssey. So I'm very fortunate. I'm 6 years cancer-free right now. And I also have been working on starting a charter school with a group called FANA. FANA is a Persian term for your highest self. And I'm working with a group of people to start a charter school. So we're...
By the way, I forgot to ask you, you have some grandchildren, I believe.
I do.
Tell us about them, because, and give us their names. Do not be bashful. I mean,
Oh my gosh, okay, I have to, there's a bunch of them.
that's
okay?
all right, but don't leave anyone out. Because
Okay. I have my oldest son and his wife have given us beautiful Zoe, and she's 4.5 years old. And Annabelle, by the way, is from Brookline, Massachusetts. So, and Zoe is just the most verbal, little girl I've ever seen. She's just amazing. Now, on my husband's side, we have, how many do we have? 5? Okay, we have, okay, I'm going to start with the first grandchild.
Just name it, that's all.
Okay, well, we're actually great-grandparents also, because we have...
are you?
Our 19-year-old has a beautiful little girl named Jordan. So Charlotte is 19, has beautiful little Jordan. And then we have... name them for me.
Go ahead,
Once
Greg.
I'm forgetting.
Ryan, Cameron,
Ryan and
Wyatt
Cameron come
and
to us
Sadie.
all the time. Ryan and Sadie.
Wyatt, and Sadie.
Wyatt and Sadie. And then we have one, our oldest, my husband's oldest son is expecting another little baby. So that's six, and then the great-grandchild. So.
Now, I've got to ask you, because we hear on the news about California and immigration and all that, but not speaking about that, what's the predominantly minority group there? Would it be the Latino, like Spanish people?
It would be the Spanish.
Yep, and do they speak a lot of Spanish in California? I know they do in some of the stores in Massachusetts, but out there, but the
They
language
do.
is out there.
It's a lot of Spanish.
Is that down like the southern part, like down, down near the Mexican border, but up north like Sacramento and those places?
Yeah, I would say Spanish, but also as you get closer, as you go further north.
Up to Washington and Oregon?
Well, I don't know what's up there, with the languages up there, but
I mean, Oregon and Washington, excuse me. I don't want to get the geography wrong.
there's a lot of Chinese in
That's right.
San
The
Francisco.
Asians, they come over because they would be mostly in California, while the Europeans came mostly over and they settled on the East Coast.
Yeah, and we have a lot of Vietnamese where we live.
Oh, too?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, I
So-
remember you weren't even born, Greg. I know you definitely, and I don't even think you was there, Kathy. But when I was a kid, they had the tremendous Japanese population in California. And during the war, they had an internment camp out there where they put them in.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, out in California, so I remember that.
I have some good friends that whose
That's
parents were a part of that.
Where, in the camps?
Yeah. Yeah, Manzanita is the one that comes to my mind.
That's pretty, well, of course, at that time, we thought we were doing the right thing. But
Yeah.
when we look back now, some of us thought it was right, some of us didn't. By the way, we got 3.5 minutes left. So, Greg, I'm going to give you 2. Take a minute and say whatever you wish to say. And how do you like coming to Massachusetts? I'll put that on you.
It's great because I've always heard stories from my grandma and grandpa, mostly my grandma, about her childhood and her just growing up in Revere. So I just like coming back and seeing all the places where my mom grew up and just all the places my grandma used to talk about.
Right. And what about you, Kathy? What would you like to talk about?
Well, first of all, believe it or not, I'm excited being here and seeing snow and being a part of that. I'm especially excited to be in Revere because
we're honored to have
it's
both
part
of
of
you
my
here today.
yeah. It's my it's my childhood. Just around this area, I saw the library just down the street, you know. I
Yep,
saw,
that's one of the oldest libraries in the country, right down the street here.
really?
Yep.
Yeah, Immaculate Conception, that's where
Right.
we used to go to church.
And I would like to say one thing. Since you were a school teacher, we have a superintendent here who's going to retire again, Mr. Paul Dakin. And I wish him the best of luck, Paul. Wherever you go, thank you for being the superintendent, because he was voted #1 out of 50 states.
Yeah,
And we happen to have the #1 superintendent in the country, and it's an
Wow.
honor. And I'm sure the teachers appreciate with him, so
yeah.
it was nice to have him.
And I know for myself, my background has made a huge difference for me as a teacher. The things that I remember.
What college did you go to? I forgot to ask you that.
I went to El Camino Junior College, and then I went to California State College, CSULB, and then I got my master's degree in urban school teaching from Pepperdine University.
Right, we have about a minute left, so I'm going to take it off. I want to thank both of you coming all the way from California to be on our show. It was an honor for you to come here, and I want you to have a happy, safe trip home when you go back there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. And do me a
Pleasure.
favor when you leave here and you fly back to California, when you get back there either tomorrow or the next day, call Bob Dunbar and say hello to us so we know you got home safely.
Absolutely.
And we wish you the best of luck, and God bless both of you
Thank you.
for coming here. God bless
you.
our troops overseas,
Absolutely.
the people of Revere, and our great country, the United States of America. And before we
Absolutely.
close, we give a flag to every veteran and community veteran. As a teacher is certainly a community veteran.
Thank you
so
so
this is for
much.
you to take back home.
Thank
Give it
you.
to one of your grandkids. And thank you
Absolutely.
both for coming again. And I got to be fair. Anybody else that wants to come from California, send them here. And if they want to come from Hawaii, send them here. And if you know anybody in Australia, send them here.
That's great.
But not from Brooklyn. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Revere.
Thank you.
Thank you.